Welcome to Ask Gwen, everyone. This morning with me, I have Kiara, and Kiara is a tail specialist. So that's what we're going to deep dive on today. And we're going to break the myth about tall and how to use it. And so I'm going to let Kiara take it away and start sharing the story.
Hi, Wayne. Good morning. My name's Kiara to everybody out there. And I guess, yeah, let's talk about how I got into tarot and why I like it. I have a podcast myself, and um, kind of how I got more public with my tarot practice is through that. It's partially about um, wellness practices. And I'm a creative. I'm a creative copywriter, but I've been a professional creative my whole life. And I think that it's very important to have a wellness practice, not only as a creative, as anybody, um, and to be able to look at yourself introspectively and to answer your questions, so we're not just like spinning out in the universe. And I find tarot is such a great tool for that. So, yeah, sorry.
Now I have a question. Now
Mhm.
I know Tell because I follow you. I follow several Tell readers on YouTube, and so I know Tell cards public. They're sold public, and you guys, they're really beautiful. By the way, some decks are really beautiful. So what? And I'm gonna be blunt here. What is the price range of a tail deck?
They can they can be anywhere from like, mm, like 15, 20, 30, and then there's specialty decks that go higher if somebody's like really making a limited edition, but they're super accessible. And what a tarot deck is it's an old tradition, it's a medieval tradition. Some people say it goes back farther than that, but they're just cards. They are just cards, and they have basically a symbol system attached to them, and um, they're really good for a lot of people. I like them for answering questions, and how I like to use them, and kind of the principle that I think of them as is it's really just being able to name your subconscious, because we know what's going on inside, but in the same way that dreams help us and stuff like that, we can't always articulate it. So when you know the symbols of tarot, um, it's a great tool to really be able to almost answer your own questions.
So when you know the symbols of tail, it's almost a great tool. So I know you pulled a tail card when we were originally scheduled, and you're going to do one for me today. And yeah. And so could you please explain to my listeners what we're about to do?
Absolutely. So, this is also an excellent way to learn tarot cards yourself. I just wanted to pull one. We were going to do this interview a little earlier, and I love that we pushed it to today because it's the 13th, which is the goddess's number. There are actually 13 goddess archetypes, so I was very excited about that. But the first card I pulled, just as kind of a card of the day, card of the interview, was the Three of Cups, which is three women kind of like holding cups, dancing with each other, very celebratory, very supportive, feminine energy, like celebrate, lean on your sisters. And so, a great way to learn your cards is to pull a card when you wake up in the morning, look at it, don't look at the meaning, just jot it down, what you feel, what you see, what you notice, the colors, the symbols, all that, and kind of think about it. And at the end of the day, look it up. And so we're just going to pull a little card for the interview and we're going to see how that is. I loved our first one. I get a little quiet while I'm doing it. I kind of feel out the energy. Um, I feel a bit of a magnetic pull, and sometimes other cards jump out. And so, yeah, that's what we're gonna do right now. Just gonna fan them. I shuffled them already. I like to shuffle them all one way so that if it's a reversal, it's a true reversal. And so, what I like to do is I like to have my person cut the deck, whoever I'm reading for. So, when we already shuffled, can you cut the deck for us? Like,
Yes.
send your energy into the deck cutting? Okay, excellent. Now I'm just going to fan them all out and see which one speaks to us. This is our little card for the day. And sometimes when I pull, I like to use my non dominant hand, which is connected to your subconscious. And I didn't even know that. It's kind of how I intuitively started doing it. Or I like to use um, like a little pendulum. Sometimes they both kind of have the same magnetic pull. Sometimes you just see a card that really speaks to you, but they're all face down, they're all fanned out. And sometimes, because there's 78 cards in a deck, sometimes if I kind of feel a certain area, I'll spread those cards out a little more to see which card it's really talking about because it's hard to just get them all out. And for us today, the card we're going to pull is the Fool. I love this. And I was thinking about this card this morning. So that makes perfect sense.
Uh,
The
yeah,
Fool. Do you have any thoughts about the Fool, Win? Do you know about the Fool?
I know about the cups. I know about the divine guidance. I know about anything, but I don't know about the fall.
Okay, so this is great and the perfect place to start with tarot because this is the Fool's story. The Fool is the first card in the deck. It is 0. Um, and the whole story of tarot is the Fool's journey. I like to call the Fool the Forrest Gump card.
Okay.
Um, yes,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
like it's just dancing through life. The Fool is just going through life. Kind of letting the experiences happen and yeah, the card is just this very carefree person. It's got they've got a little russet on their back. They're holding a flower. They're um kind of they're walking off a cliff almost with their head back.
oh boy.
um yeah, and the sun
I
is
I
shining.
tend to I tend to jump off cliffs with and then land and then land. I have I have been known, partially because I can't see, I have 2, stigmatism. The left eye is the worst, the right eye. So I've been
I
known
have that too.
I have been known to jump, literally, off, runner-boards of cars, and the people have said to me twice now, I've done it once in June and once last October. People go, "What are you doing?" I tend to land on my feet, you guys. I tend to jump into things and then land on my feet, and so it's so funny that you pulled the full con for me because I tend to jump and then land on my feet.
And that's probably why you're so successful because when you're doing that authentically, it's actually really magnetic.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, it shows the universe like you trust that it's got you and
yeah,
that you got yourself too. And so the fool, yeah, the fool is totally that card. This fool has a little dog playing around its feet. So I'd say as a card for the day, and it's perfect because this is a Friday, it's just like take what life gives you. Don't be afraid. Just really keep doing the cosmic dance today.
and it's Friday the 13th. For those of
Yes.
you who and granted, it's November. Friday the 13th. For those of you who are afraid of there's a, suspicion out there of ladders and black cats. So, I particularly like black cats. So, and we may drop this episode today as bonus episode, but I particularly like black cats. I can walk on the ladder and nothing will happen to me. And the number 13 is my lucky number because I was 13 inches long. Believe it or not, when I got diagnosed with cerebral palsy, I was 13 inches long. And that was on June 22nd, 87. So the number 13 is my lucky number.
I love that. And I have a little sneaking suspicion, right? It might be because it is the goddess's number and we sometimes want to disempower that sort of thing. So I also am a big fan of 13 now. I have a little black and white tuxedo cat sitting here and I think the latter thing is just practical.
I think, yeah, the latter thing is just practical. And for those of you that don't know, they say when you walk on the ladder on any 13th day of the month, it will fall over. Well, I haven't seen ladder fall, but I'll probably see white feathers today or something, a sign from my mom or uh fox, which is the sign of my dad. My mother is the deer, and her favorite symbol, I'm not kidding you guys, her favorite symbol was feathers. And so if I see a white feather, someone mentioned white feathers to me, I think that's my mom. And and I haven't seen a fox lately, but I know he hangs out in my backyard. And the fox is my dad, who passed away on May 19th. My dad actually wanted me, and I'm still trying to do it, write a children's book called The Fox That Went Back to Bed because we had at one point a fox that hung out under a deck for about a month and was chilling underneath the deck. And yeah, so that was his idea to give to me the fox that went back to bed, the children's book. And I'm still trying to write a children's book. It's taken me a long time now just to sit down and do it. But I feel like the guiding spirit is it has something to do with our lives. And I've had several times now that divine intervention has touched my life. One of them being when I got emotionally abused and physically abused. My the way it was set up is I had 3 witnesses at this house. One of them, was 15 feet away from me, met my abuser, thank you very much. N My abuser knew, that my 3 witnesses were in this house, and one's gonna leave, and one was gonna be very protective of me, and she got away with some interesting stuff, and you guys know that. If you guys go listen to my other podcast, The Artwork of CP, we called that podcast episode "It," and so if you guys go look up "It" on the artwork of CP, you'll find all that story. And so I believe divine intervention stuck its foot in my abuse situation, and now it's sticking its foot in again due to my abuser's witness wants to apologize to me around other people. And this is newness to me. And so I'm like, okay, fine. You apologize to me. I'm ready to forgive and forget. But with soul healing and counseling, yes, I do see a counselor. And with soul healing and counseling, I'm really ready to I won't forgive my abuser, but I will forgive her witness, and I am ready to connect with my family again, which is happening sooner than I think.
That's beautiful, and that's really it shows that you are just strong and dedicated to the way that you live and thrive, because it's healing for you to do that, it's not forgiving is not really for somebody else, and so, I mean, I'm like, I commend you, that's I've been in some rough situations, not probably the same at all, but that's hard and, like, bravo.
Well,
Shows you've
thank
done a
you.
lot of work, and you're not doing spiritual bypass. A lot of people don't like divination tools because they feel like it's bypassing the
And
hard stuff.
I also believe in God. I'm a woman
Yeah,
of faith, but when it comes to, divination tools, thank you for that new terminology that you're teaching me something every single day. You guys teach me something every single day. This is my, little lifelong learning project there. It's turned into a lifelong learning, but I believe in God, so I use divination tools to help me out when I'm stuck in a pickle, um, and I also pray to God, so I use both, you guys.
yeah, same, absolutely. I feel that too. It's not exclusive, and
No.
it's where your energy and intention are going. So,
And can anyone learn Till?
absolutely, totally. And there are also thing called oracle cards, which
Yes.
are they don't really have a system, so if you just want to get into kind of looking at cards and experiencing just picking one, those are a really easy way to start. um I recommend, as far as learning tarot traditionally, the the traditional deck is called the Rider Waite, and there's also the Rider-Waite Smith deck, which I recommend because the color's a little different. They're both beautiful, but Smith, is the name of the artist, Pixie Coleman Smith and, Pamela Coleman Smith, but she is a queer woman of color. She was definitely a woman of color. She was thought to be queer as well. So we love to credit our artists. And, yeah, so I also started I bought that deck and a companion book to it. There are a ton of great websites that help talk about the cards, as well as you reference YouTube is a really great place for learning about
Yeah, and
tarot as well.
Chloe Taylor does a fabulous job, you guys. Chloe Taylor. She goes by Chloe Taylor, and she does a fabulous job on YouTube. YouTube is a full-time thing also. Um, Spiritual Tarot is a full-time thing as well, and for those of you who you know this name, Doreen Virtual, who does Hay House Books, she also does a little bit of tarot out of Hawaii, and she has a YouTube channel, and she reads cards as well, or um you can listen to Kara's podcast, and we'll just have fun with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got more public with it because I mentioned it and that I prefer reading for other people because I do feel like the cards are extremely accurate. So, when I read for me, a lot of times I feel a bit dragged. I'm like, "Ugh,
Yeah.
leave me alone." So,
Yeah.
I love to read for other people, and so I do that, on our Instagram, which is Clearlight Creative, but yeah, Doreen Virtue's great. She does a lot she's a woman of faith as well, she does a lot with angels, and I love using the angels and the saints and, really, connecting that way, so it's all good, it's the energy you bring to it, I don't believe that it leaves room for dark spirits or
No,
anything like that,
no,
not at all.
no,
No.
not at all.
Mm-mm.
And so, Kale, what is your favorite book?
I've been thinking about this. So I really get just very into whatever I like at the moment. I read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl during probably the middle of quarantine, and that is such a great book about philosophy, and just a way to live life with purpose and how that can empower you in any situation you're in at all. Um, I've recently been reading Zadie Smith, who is an incredible novelist, but she wrote a short nonfiction book about her pandemic experience. It's not like dramatic or anything. She's just an incredible writer. And I have on my nightstand always JD Salinger's 9 short stories. And my brother, it honestly, it's good. And my brother gave it to me. So just
Yeah,
kind of live there. Yeah.
yeah.
Those are those are my 3 little tidbits for now.
So, as we wrap this interview up, do you have any questions for me?
I do. I do. I do a little round of closing questions on my podcast, so I just thought I would drop those 2 there. So, one is, what's something that's a part of your wellness practice? And another is, um, what's something you're grateful for?
Well, I can't say what I'm working on right now, but I will be grateful for it in the long run. And I'm grateful to, I will put it this way, I'm grateful to reconnect with my family. And because my family is going to help me out with something huge, which I can't say yet, but let's just say I am, the universe has shifted me in a totally different direction than I thought, and I'm rolling with good punches there. The
Yes.
universe
That's
is saying, "Okay, you've got a diagnosis of CP and you need family support and you are about to get diagnosed with asthma, let's send you in this direction and let's send you in some direction that I'll give you one hint. It involves sand. The
Oh.
and that's the only hint I'm giving you guys. That's the only hint I'm giving you guys. It involves sand, and I am working on a huge project be behind the scenes, and the other thing I'm grateful for is that I only have 40 credits left in my journalism degree,
Those are both
and
so exciting.
so sand and 40 credits. And I'm grateful for my family and I'm grateful for my step family. And so, yeah. So
Oh, wow.
my huge project involves sand. Let's just put it that way, and I'll go into a full-on episode. Why? But the universe has shifted my life, and I'm like, okay, I'll take it. I'll take it because yeah, I'll take it.
Oh, wow. I can't wait to, like, hear your announcement, so I'm waiting on bated
Yes,
breath, but
you're waiting on bated breath.
yeah.
You're waiting on bated breath, and it's so funny that you pulled the full card because I knew this was coming, but I knew half of it was coming, but I didn't know that the universe was gonna make me jump and land on my feet, but land in a totally different way than I was expecting. So it's funny. And so, yes, that is what I'm grateful for.
Yes, and, I just, like I think The Fool, you're right, is so perfect for that because it really is, just, you know, letting go so the universe can bring you what's for your highest good. I have a tendency to, like, decide that I want this thing and put a vice grip on it. My sun sign is a Cancer. I'll lock that claw, that little crab's
Mine
claw
too.
around anything.
Mine too. I'm a Cancer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I love that.
yes. I'm a
But,
Cancer. I have what I like to call the dog with the bone.
yes, exactly.
Give
It's our
me
little pinchers are just
yeah,
locked
it's
around
the
it.
grab. It's the
And
grab. I finally figured it out.
mhm. And so when you just let the universe do its thing and you are like the fool, it brings you stuff that you can't even imagine,
Yeah.
like
No,
unimaginably cool
no,
twists and turns. So
no.
that is the
And
fool.
I grasped onto journalism. And then I lost my job due to the pandemic, but I set myself up for success 10 years ago by writing a book. And by writing a book, since then it's been 11 books out now. And so I set myself up for success by writing a book and writing 11 books and working on my 12th and 13th. And so the cancer in me goes, give me a mission. I will figure it out to the end. I will figure it out to the end. And that's it. And cancers are very, 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 very loyal
Mhm.
to the 10th degree. I mean, we'll give the shirt off our back if you let us. And so, yeah,
Absolutely. Wow. So, I mean, just keep jumping off those cliffs with confidence, knowing that
yeah,
you've got yourself and the
yeah,
universe has got yourself, and especially for today, because that's our card
yeah.
for today. But
That's, yeah, that's the con for today. And
mhm.
so where can people find you? And where can people find you and get a hold of you and listen to the podcast?
So the podcast is Clearlight Creative, and that's on most of the sites, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Our website is clearlightcreativepodcast.com, where we have all of the episodes as well as additional photos or charts or show notes on it. We do interviews with um, healers, I guess, wellness professionals such as Reiki masters, Kundalini teachers. We also do interviews with creative professionals because I've gone to 5 art schools. I've had a few different creative careers, and I know a lot of people really want to be creative, and they either feel like it's not for them or they feel like uh, if they train as a dancer, they can only dance, and so, we have interviews with movement stylists, and, we're about to have an interview with Chris Larkin, who plays Monty Green on The 100, so we they tell their story, and they tell us exactly how they did it, and then because I do love this, divination and metaphysical stuff, we have episodes with a professional astrologer, because I love that, and I also find so much explanation, and grounding. It really makes it easy to just roll with the punches of life. If you're just like, "Oh, of course, all of my communications are getting messed up." This
Yeah,
cosmic thing is happening, and so it's just how can I help you, right? That's also the
yeah.
Cancer thing is
How can
I just wanna nurture
how can
everybody.
I help? How can I help? No, I don't
Mhm.
know many people. And so, yeah, and you guys, eventually I'll be on Kia's podcast myself because we just have to work out timing and with this huge project, I may the as I said, the universe is got my back. And with
Yes.
this huge project, like, come on, when you've you've got to do this now. And yeah, so I'll let you guys know what it is, but I gave you my hint, which is sand. And so, yeah, I'll let you guys know what it is. But when I'm on Kayla's podcast, I will let you guys know. And it was lovely chatting with you this morning. And as I said to you guys, we may drop this episode today as a um, Friday the 13th bonus, so you can get a lucky Friday the 13th. No black cats unless they're lucky. And so that is that. And I appreciate you guys supporting me and the download numbers. And um, also go listen to the artwork of CP if you guys haven't subscribe to that. Danielle and I would really appreciate that. Danielle and I talk about CP and what CP is really like. And so we're going to do that and continue to do that and make it a great Friday, you guys. Make it a great um, winter, make it a great holiday season, and we'll make 2021 even stronger, you guys. Bye, you guys.
Bye, thank you, Win. Thank you for having me on. It's excellent.